Okay, it's recording. And I'm going to share my screen. Okay, can you see this? Perfect. Okay, so let's get started. So today's topic, as I have mentioned through my emails, that I will be talking about the binge restrict cycle. So if you could put you could still be on video, but if you could put your Zoom on mute so that I don't have any background noise. Okay, so today's topic is breaking the binge restrict cycle. This is a big, I guess, topic and area that a lot of women particularly struggle with. For me, having worked with plenty of women worldwide, this is something that has been the biggest thing that they are facing. So today's topic is this, and I want to talk more in depth and give you some strategies and tips on how to break this cycle in the most, in the most, how to break this cycle and get you in the right mindset. So that's what I just said. So top tips and strategies in how to overcome this cycle. So when I say this cycle, what I mean is females tend to, when they come to me, they say they binge eat, they're restrictive with their diets. And when you binge and restrict, that is sort of called yo-yo dieting. You're going from one extreme to another extreme, and it just seems to be this constant cycle. So this masterclass will be teaching you, I will be teaching you strategies and tips in how to overcome this. So is this you? You feel like you need to cut, you can't have fruits because apparently someone said fruits is going to make you fat, or you're going to have to cut out carbs because carbs is also what makes you fat. So you probably hear this a lot and shown a lot on social media. So the problem is that there's just so much conflicting information out there, restricting carbs, restricting calories, like what do you do? And, there's so many information out there that you just don't know that you're consuming. And nowadays that we're more on social media, we're consuming so much information that we just don't know what the right information is out there. So the 6 myths that are holding you back, you've probably seen all this before. I've had a lot of females asking me what's the best way to, what do you think of this juice or this tea, that you need to be eating as little as possible. You have to be burning yourself in the gym to, lose the body fat, all this sort of stuff, all this misinformation. So I'm going to be here to debunk all this and really show you the basics of what to do and how to overcome all of these myths. And because these are the reasons, there's too many information, these are the reasons that's holding you back in getting to your goals. And these are the things that's causing you to have that poor relationship with food. It's the poor relationship with food. And when you develop that poor relationship with food, that just you're just going into that binge restrict cycle. So it's because of this, and the information you're receiving is leading you to that. So you probably, like I said, this vicious cycle. You restrict yourself because you can't have a particular food, and then when you restrict yourself too much, it becomes, you're overeating and you're binge eating. and then you have this guilt, and then you repeat this cycle, and it seems like it's never ending. So I'm going to show you the strategies and how to overcome this. So before I do that, why should you listen to me? This is my story. So as you could see, this is me, and you've probably seen me plaster this all over social media. I have been on both ends. I was super restrictive and clean eating purely because I was working towards a fitness competition, and that required me to be restrictive and follow a set of rules in order to eat. So as you could see on the left, obviously being in this restrict and clean eating situation, I have low energy, no sex drive, which isn't what we want. And I'm sure that as females, we need to have a healthy libido. We get moody all the time and we're constantly tired. And I remember that I experienced all this, and I'm sure that, for you that's listening, that when you have these symptoms, or you have these sort of, you have the low energy, you tend to pull it off on other people, and, it's not fair on other people. So, or just to, have a set of abs. And bear in mind, I was eating less than 1,000 calories, and that is actually not healthy at all. On the right, as you could see, I was in a binge eating state. On the left, it's definitely, you're eating less than 1,000 calories is not sustainable. And when your body's trying to survive and live day-to-day life, what happens? You will bounce back, and you will bounce back like I did. And I force feeding, emotional eating, poor body image, low self-esteem, low confidence, and I was just really in a dark place. And I wasn't happy at all. As you could see, look on my face. And I developed, poor body image because I saw myself as someone that was super lean. And it's funny when I look at this now, and I don't think that I was overly, I still think I look great now, but at the time I thought I was the fattest thing in the whole world. Like, it's crazy to think that now. So, oh, so I've been through it all. I've been clean and restrictive. I've jumped to binge eating, inflamed, like gaining all the body weight back. I've been really emotional, and coming out of it was challenging. But now, as you could see, I'm strong, happy, healthy, and that's all that matters to me. So I will be talking, as I said, the strategies and how I came from, me being in binge eating scenario, and how I sort of recovered to becoming, I guess, being a healthy version of myself and being in a better headspace mentally. So, who am I? You all probably already know by now, and I'll quickly just mention who I am. Obviously, my name is Ella, and I am an online fitness trainer. I specialize in females only because I know what it's like. And I know what it's like when it comes to reaching their health and fitness goals. I truly, truly practice what I preach, and I've been in the industry for over five over 5 years, and I know what it's like, and my body has been through so much. So this is why I am so passionate in being an advocate for women's health. So let's get straight into it. First of all, this topic, as we all know, this topic is how to break that binge restrict cycle. First and foremost, and this is what I'm super big on, is your mindset. You have to get into the right mindset in order to reach your goals in fat loss, muscle gain, but not only for those muscle gain or fat loss, but for overall health and well-being. So it's often we are not in the right mind frame and we get into like a diet, for example, hoping to get to our goals. But you have to be working on your mind as much as your body, because when you're in the right frame of mind, everything becomes easier and you are developing that good relationship with yourself, not just with food, with yourself. And you develop that good relationship with yourself, because with your mind, it all body, mind, and soul, everything will make sense and everything will be a lot easier. So think of the thoughts you're having and how you're feeling, because whatever you're thinking and feeling, emotional, whatever it is, it will become behaviors. So, how to get into the right mindset? Well, good news is that we can come out of this cycle. All right. We have to get rid of the diet mentality of good and bad. There's no such thing as good and bad food. You are pretty, I hear it all the time. Females are saying, oh, cake is a bad food, donut is a bad food. When you are labeling food as good or bad, you already letting food control you. So you should be the one that is controlling what you put. You should be the one that has control over food, not letting food take control of you. So often when you have a bad food, when people say bad, they usually refer to cakes, donuts, oh, I've had a bad food today. Like I've had a cheat meal today. What happens next? They are going to have some form of guilt, shame, and then when they have that feeling of bad and guilt, they'll go into this restrict mentality. I've had that bad food. I'm a bad person. I can't have that anymore. I'm going to restrict myself. Why should it be like that? When you when you label food like that, that's having a really bad mindset. So that's why people get into that cycle of restricting themselves. And when you restrict yourself, we all know that you crave good, nice food. You crave those food that makes you happy, and it just becomes this vicious cycle. So get rid of that mentality of good and bad food. I want you to change that mindset and be like, look, food is more nutrient dense, it's more wholesome. For example, obviously, your veggies, your fruits, they have a lot of nutrients, and nutrients are good for you to give you the energy to function day-to-day life. And then there's the bad, when bad food, I call it fun foods. You're not so, I guess, less nutrient dense, but they're good for yourself. So get your mindset, get rid of that mentality of good and bad food. Say, more nutrient dense food or just fun foods. Have to have that balance. Okay, I am so big on this. Your weight will fluctuate. You should stop worrying about the number on the scale. Oh, sorry, I'm getting a little bit dizzy here. Oh, I'm fine. So your weight, often we attach our worth on the number on the scale. When we go on the scale, if there's an increase, what do? The next day or the day we go and do countless amounts of cardio. We restrict ourselves from eating food. We starve ourselves. So just know that the weight doesn't define your self-worth. It is just one form of measurement. And the thing is, there's so many different variations, factors that that makes the weight on the number on the scale shift. So on a day-to-day basis, your weight will fluctuate. It will go up and down. And their factors are, if you have your period, you tend to hold on to water, not getting enough sleep. The night before, you may have a high carb or high sodium meal. You may be a little bit more stressed than normal. You haven't pooped. That's another thing that may, make your weight fluctuate. And the thing is, it's not body fat, because it takes you, in order to gain 1 gram of body fat, you need to be eating up to like 3,500 calories every single day. And that is a lot of food. So your weight will fluctuate, and that is all mostly water weight. If you do, have a weight fluctuation, get back on track, do what you have to do what you normally do, and the water weight will just drop off. So just understand that it will fluctuate. So did you know that, on the left was when I first started off, and on the right was, this year? I actually weigh almost 10 kilos more on the right than I did on the left. So taking into consideration, muscle mass weighs more than body fat. So do not attach your self-worth on a number on the scale. It's one way to track progress, but again, get rid of that, your progress is purely based on the scale. All right, this is a big one. I have a lot of females come to me asking me about, what do you think? What's the best supplement for fat loss? What do you think of this fat loss juice or whatever it is? So, the thing is, there's no quick fixes. The thing is, you may see, 2-week challenge of cutting out, I don't know, like cutting out certain food groups, going keto for 2 weeks, low carb for, 7 days, or anything that is quick fixes. Yes, you will get some results because you're putting your body under, a drastic change. Of course, your body is going to try and adapt, and you may see results in the short term, but it's actually super unhealthy to, restrict yourself so much. Some of the challenges are like crazy, 12,800 calories. Supplements, most of the supplements that are out there, like, those detox juices, detox teas, all it is that they've mostly got laxatives in it, and it just makes you poop. So when you poop, you obviously lose weight. But for me, it's all in the long game here. It is all, what is the rush? I don't believe in quick fixes, and this is something that I never teach any of my clients, no quick fixes. Because if you're looking for quick fixes, you're only looking for a way to gain all the weight back and more. So be patient with yourself, enjoy the process, because when you're in any fitness journey, there will be struggles, but the struggles is where you will grow from. So play the long game here to make sure that you can keep this alive. So, often we become highly restrictive. We're cutting out carbs. You've probably heard of this before. Carbs are the enemies. You don't want to, bread's bad for you. I'm going to be keto because that's the only way to drop body fat. We need to stop having this mentality. Like I said before, when you are eliminating carbs, you are basically getting rid of a macronutrient food group. If you get rid of this food group, you are falling into nutrient deficiency. So you're not getting enough nutrients to survive day-to-day life. Like, sure, cutting out carbs, you may get some results in the short term, but it's not sustainable, and you are limiting yourself from nutrients. And more often than not, that's very unhealthy. And this is where when people cut it out, they will bounce back and wanting to have it and more. So you should be having you should be incorporating foods from all food groups, as you could see on the right. There should be no foods that you should be cutting out. Enjoy food. All types of food have different nutrients in them. So, yeah, so in saying that, yes, what you need is a flexible approach. And this is where flexible dieting has really changed the way I thought about food. Because when I was in a clean eating restrictive phase, because I had my fitness competition to work towards, that's what I was doing. My coach at the time sent me a meal plan, and that's what I had to follow. I had no flexibility, and it was clean. It was chicken and broccoli. It was the typical, eat clean bro stuff, as you could see on the left, right? And it became so robotic that it got boring, and I just didn't fit. And this is how I felt even after my competition. I thought I had to be eating this way in order to get to my goals. There's nothing wrong with eating clean. It's just that, I want to spice things up. I want to be able to make dieting, or, my approach to getting towards my goal much flexibly. So, that's when on my road to recovery from binge eating to where I am at now, flexible dieting has really changed my mindset. And that's what I will get into talking about a little bit more. So just to, put simply, it's just being flexible with your eating choices. As you could see on the right, you have your, the more nutrient dense stuff, but also you have your fun foods. I like to call it fun foods, not bad foods. At the end of this, the one thing I want you to get away is you're not going to call it a bad food. I don't want you to call it an unhealthy food. It's just fun foods, good for the soul kind of food. Okay, so in the next slide, clean, what it means. Clean versus diet. As you could see on the left, clean versus flexible. On the left diagram, clean, you have, this is what I was eating when I was clean eating. I was strict with all, the fruits, the veggies and the protein, but then being flexible is having those, but at the same time, I'm still having the cupcakes, the donuts. So being flexible, because if you're just purely clean eating, because come on, as humans, we want to have those fun foods because they're delicious, firstly, and food is meant to be enjoyed. So as you could see, it all comes down to making it fit into your calorie budget. And that is something that I coach all my females on. It doesn't mean that you can eat whatever you want to eat. We want to make sure that, like, as you can see on the right, flexible dieting it's not eating whatever you want to eat, as you could see here. It's having nutrient dense food, but at the same time, you're incorporating those fun foods. So there's that balance. There's balance. So that's the balance. So I say an 80% to 20% ratio, 80% of nutrient dense food and 20% of those fun foods that you can have, because that's sustainable and you can sustain this for the rest of your life. So yeah, like I said, you need something sustainable. All those challenges, you know, let's put an end to that. We need something sustainable that you can have ever. So I mentioned before about your calories. Um, as you could see, whoops, here, as you could see here, 1700 calories, 1700 calories here. Clean versus flexible. They're both the same calories, but making sure flexible, it's not about all you can eat whatever you want to eat. You're being flexible, but to working towards your goals, there needs to be a target calorie budget for the day or for the week. So is calorie counting, and I know you've probably heard of this before, I don't want to calorie count, it's too stressful, it's too hard, I don't want to do it. Is it really going to get you to your results? The answer is yes. So calorie counting is, or tracking your macros, counting your calories. It is one form of way. It is a way, the most accurate way to lose weight. So yes, you need education on how and why you're tracking your calories, what macronutrients are, what micronutrients are, protein, carbs, fats, and you need to know why you're eating for fat loss. So this is something that I'm super big on, because you can, if you're not, let's just say you take away calorie counting and you're not tracking your calories, which is fine. You can be clean eating, you change some behaviors and habits around food. Yes, you can, and you probably notice that you will start to see your weight dropping just because you've taken away, you've cleaned up your diet a little bit and you're eating quite clean, as you all would say. But it will get to a point where you hit a plateau. And what happens next? Your body's used to that. Tracking your calories and your macros is the most accurate way in reaching your goal. So when you hit a plateau and you're eating clean, okay, what happens next? I'm all about a science approach, an evidence science approach when it comes to your fat loss goals. It's not a guessing game here. So when you understand how to track your calories, it's not something that you're going to do for the rest of your life. It's just being aware of it and understanding this so that you can get to your fat loss goals in a sustainable way, and you are able to make necessary adjustments according to that rather than just guessing. So, when we're in that binge restrict cycle, before I say, I know I keep saying binge restrict, there is a difference between, before I forget, because this is what I really want to mention, binge eating is actually an eating disorder. So binge is where you're eating, it's a disorder where you're eating when you're still quite full, and you just keep eating because for the sake of eating. So it's actually a disorder. Most of the time, you are probably just overeating. So please, I just wanted to make that clear. Binge eating is actually a disorder. So most of the time, you may be overeating, but still, it's something for you to be aware of. So, often when we overeat or we binge, what do? I got to burn this off. I'm going to go into the gym and I'm going to do countless amount of cardio just to burn this off. It's a very vicious very vicious mindset to be in. So yes, you want to be getting strong. So incorporating weight training is a great way to, um, I guess, another way to overcome this feeling of, of this being in that headspace of, oh, I'm going to punish myself, sort of thing. So focusing on, you know, the feeling good rather than having to punish yourself, because weight training is another way to feel strong, feel confident, and feel empowered. So here I'm trying to get you is to shift your focus from, you know, punishing yourself to feeling strong and feeling empowered. So shift that focus and shift that mindset. Because when weight, weightlifting changed the way I thought. It changed, it was really something, and I'm going to be hand on heart, it was something that really changed my life and who I am today. So, with all that being said, what everyone needs, or what everyone, I suppose, having that mentality of, being in this restrict sort of phase, sometimes we need a little bit of accountability and structure. This is what helped me, is to have someone keep me accountable, and to guide me, to give me structure to follow. Because if I didn't have accountability and if I didn't have structure, I would probably still be in that cycle. And it's very toxic, because I thought I could do it all on my own. Because prior to that phase of mine where I was in that binge restrict cycle, I was in that cycle for, for quite some time. Because prior to that, I was able to do everything on my own. But having structure really got me out of that phase that I was in. Yes, you need a community of women like yourself, because sometimes, we as females, we feel like we're alone. Yes, I am. You do have your coach. You do have, you do have your friends. Sometimes your friends don't even understand what you're going through, no matter how much how much you try to explain to them. So, being in a community that is going through the same thing as yourself is so motivating and so empowering. They always say connect yourself with like-minded women, and it's such a big thing. And I could tell you that, for myself at the time, I thought I was alone, but there's so many other women that were going through the same thing as me. And what I did was I reached out to them, and I joined communities that helped me, feel like I'm part of a group, that I had that support. I am not the only one, because if I did have the community of women, I thought I was the only one in this whole world that was dealing with this cycle that I was going through. So, and I'm very big on coaching. So when it comes to coaching, often when people think of coaching, it's, I'm just going to follow a training plan and a nutrition plan. Yes, that is important to have something to follow through with, to give you structure, to give you routine to follow. But coaching is more than just following a plan. It's really getting you in the right mindset, giving you the education. Because when I was in that phase, I seeked out coaching, and I had a lot of mentors and coaches that coached me, even though back then, that happened, that cycle that I was in was a few years ago, a couple years ago actually. Yeah, 2018, 2020. Yeah, well, 2021 soon. 2000. Yeah. But in saying that, I thought I could have done it all on my own, but you know, even for me as a coach, I needed to be coached myself, to get the education, to get not just the support, the education and the knowledge in how to overcome this. There's so many resources out there, but just getting that knowledge and that education, you feel more empowered. And I'm so big on feeling empowered to, break through all the doubts that you had, and to have someone there is such a great feeling. And I'm sure, my clients can vouch for me for that because I do give it my all to all my clients. And it's just having that is, yeah, like I said, I'm repeating myself, it's feeling empowered. So these are some of my clients' results. Like, one of my clients on my left, she was someone that I worked with in my early stages of me being a PT. It would all came down primarily to nutrition. She also had this, you know, this mentality. She wasn't educated. She wasn't very much educated, and you know, social media had a heavy influence on her. But guiding her, giving her the right tools, especially and she was doing on the left. She was doing a lot of cardio because that's what she thought she had to do. But all I did was just teach her, guide her with the correct, information. Um, and she was tracking her calories, she was tracking her macros, and it's now on the right. This is something that she can have for the rest of her life. And my client on the right, she's very disciplined, and she was just purely clean eating. She did not know anything about flexible dieting at all. And when I introduced that to her, she enjoyed date nights with her partner, making foods she enjoyed fit into her weekly, into her daily life, because food is meant to be enjoyed. This is meant to be a lifestyle change. So these are two clients that I'm very proud of. In fact, I'm proud of all my clients. So this is what is possible. You could see here, super restrictive, and I looked so unhealthy. And funny, at the time, I thought was in the best shape of my life. What happened? I rebounded back, gained all the weight, but because of the road to recovery, in getting educated, the right information, in seeking out for help, and um, everything that I talked about in my presentation, in this masterclass, in changing that mindset. I'm so big on mindset. Get away from saying food as good or bad. Get practicing flexible dieting. Surrounding yourself with with people that support you. Um, Practicing flexibility and getting, counting your calories, understanding tracking your macros, the importance of it. And because of all that, I have been able to maintain the physique that I have now. Not just physique, I believe it's more than your physique, because it all comes down to your mind and how you are and how you build that relationship with yourself. So I can tell you that I haven't been I've been the happiest that I've ever been in my whole life. And it's just, all comes down to working on that mindset, getting the right information, having that guidance. Okay. So it is possible. It is possible. Okay. Don't think it's not possible, because as we know, as we overthink things, don't overthink things. So how the pathway, I know this may seem, or yes, you probably know, I touched on all the points that I've touched on. You've probably seen it throughout social media, because I'm very big on mindset and I'm very big on nutrition as well, because like again, this is the biggest thing that is the biggest struggle for all women in having that poor body that develops into that poor body image, and their relationship with food. It's just this vicious cycle. So you need to understand the pathway. This is what I get my clients to do, is the pathway to achieve your goals, whether that is fat loss, gaining muscle, or just for overall health, is number one. Don't think of the best diet out there. What's the best diet out there? What am I going to follow? What rules am I going to follow this time? Number one, basic, understanding your nutritional choices. We all know this. Nutritional choices, just making better choices with your nutrition to feel good for day-to-day life, for day-to-day activities. All you need to do, and it's free. Choosing your food choices is free. So understanding and building, and this is what I get my clients to do, is to get into, so this is how I work with my clients, get them into these 4 phases. Okay. Next is understanding energy balance. Whatever your goal is, if you're wanting to look for fat loss, then understanding energy balance. So when I say energy, it's calories. Calories is just what you eat. Calories in and calories out. So understanding energy balance is key. And then when you get these two, quite consistent, and you're building that habit in making better choices, and you're understanding energy balance, and then let's look at your rough macros. Let's look at rough macros. And I'm very big on tracking your macros, because I'm very big on strength training. Strength training, not only because you get stronger, but just that feeling good and feeling confident, feeling strong. So understanding macros, hitting your certain amount of protein, which is really important. And then when you sort of get your rough macros, you've already developed, you've already, been through phase 1, been through phase 2, then phase 3, and then the next phase is phase 4, which is, okay, now we understand those 3 phases that we've been through. We're going to start counting and measuring. Okay, when you get these phases, confident in them, then, you're well and truly on your way to knowing how to practice flexible dieting into your lifestyle, so that when you understand this, and I'm not here to say you're going to be tracking your calories forever. No, that's never going to happen. But the more you do this, it's just going to get easier. It's going to get easier, and this is the best way to learn about the nutrient contents in the foods that you're having. So these, you may be like, oh, where do I start? Like, how do I get started? I don't know what my macros are. I don't know what my calories are. You're probably like overwhelmed, but there's a step-by-step process in which I take my clients through. So just to, you're probably already wondering what my online coaching program is all about. It is not a generic program. I make sure that I'm very invested into my clients, in their results, their mindset, and getting them in the right mindset in order to achieve their goals, like I said. So everything that I do is not a guessing game. It's all backed up by science, and I'm very big on that, because when I say backed up by science, it's the most surest way to get to your goals sustainably. Okay. So again, like I said, I follow a flexible, non-restricting approach, and this is what I see the greatest results, because it's something that my clients enjoy and can keep. Because if you can't stick to a program and you're hating it, let's be honest, you're not gonna last on a program. So with me, I'm so big on mindset and lifestyle coaching. what I'm big on. It's more than just following a plan of nutrition and training, but it's that lifestyle and that mindset. Because when you build that, it will carry over to all aspects of your life. So let's have a look. Let's have a look. So, because this is my first ever masterclass, I do have a special discount. Normally it is at $79, but I'm going to discount that to half. This is something that I've never done before. I appreciate you listening, coming along to my presentation today. I love educating, and I feel like the more I do this, like it's growing on me, and I just want to reach a bigger audience. But I really appreciate your time. So if coaching is something that you are keen on, this is my discount for the next 48 hours. Yeah. Questions? Okay, question time. You can unmute stuff. You can unmute. Thank you for joining. I appreciate your support, ladies. I really do. Any questions? I can't hear.
There were no questions from us.
No questions.
No questions. It was very
informative. Oh, I didn't realize there were so many other people in this. But yeah, I'm just going to share that back into. I really spoke from my heart. And I hope that if you do have any questions, please type it in the box beside, so that if you don't want to talk, that's fine. You can put it in the chat box, and I'm more than happy to answer. Again, I'm just going to share that screen because I didn't realize, I thought no one would turn up today. I was like, but thank you so much. I really appreciate that. So I'm just going to share my screen again. Oops. So yes, ladies, I've never done this before. So this is, like I said, because it is my first ever masterclass, and I love educating. For the next 48 hours, I'm going to be charging almost half what I normally charge, because this is to show my appreciation that you ladies have joined me here. So at the end of this class, go into the link in my bio on Instagram and fill in the question, fill in my online coaching program, and just type in masterclass somewhere in there, so that I know that you attended my class. It's only for everyone here, that's joined today for me, because your presence, truly means a lot to me, and I really appreciate it. Really, really, really appreciate it. So again, I'm going to say that again. Go into the link in my bio on Instagram, or you could DM me or message me and say you've attended my masterclass and you get this discount. And it's probably a once-off thing that I will ever do. So thank you.
Thanks, Ella. Thank you.
No worries. Any questions before we wrap things up? No? Okay, well, I hope that was super informative in some way, and I made sense. And yeah, and just to let you ladies know that this will not be the last masterclass. I really enjoyed it, and yeah, please keep your eyes open because I may be having more down the track. But because of all you ladies have joined, I do have a small gift which I will send through in email just to say thank you afterwards. So yeah, thank you, ladies, and for all of you that don't know, I didn't introduce, actually, I didn't say it, but I am from Australia. I know I have some people from different parts of the world, but I am from Australia and it is a Friday today, so I'm going to enjoy the rest of my day. And I know it's Thursday for some of you, but enjoy the rest of your weekend ahead and we will chat soon. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.